Imagine living in a country where your money never sleeps, where every dollar you earn grows quietly in the background, where taxes stay low, savings multiply, and even the average worker can retire a millionaire. That country is Singapore. While most of the world watches their paychecks shrink under inflation and taxes, Singapore has built a system where your money works harder than you do. The question is, how did they design it? Number 1, the philosophy behind Singapore's money system. When Singapore became independent in 1965, it had almost nothing. No oil, no farmland, not even enough drinking water of its own. Survival meant being smarter than everyone else. The leaders of Singapore asked a bold question: how can we turn scarcity into strength? Their answer was a philosophy that still drives the country today. Money isn't just personal income, it's national capital. Every dollar saved, every tax collected, every investment made had to serve a bigger purpose. Instead of copying the Western model of high taxes and endless government spending, Singapore built something different, a system rooted in discipline, low taxes, high savings, and policies that reward long-term thinking, not short-term consumption. This mindset transformed a poor trading port into one of the wealthiest nations on earth. In Singapore, money isn't just something you spend today. It's designed to secure tomorrow. Number 2, compulsory savings, CPF. In most countries, saving for the future is optional. You earn your salary, you spend what you want, and maybe, just maybe, you put something aside. But human nature works against us. We chase short-term comfort and sacrifice long-term security. Singapore knew it couldn't leave something as important as retirement, housing, or healthcare to chance. So it designed the Central Provident Fund, or CPF. It's a compulsory savings system. Part of your salary is automatically taken each month and placed into your CPF account. Your employer is required to add to it as well. Now here's the smart part. This isn't money that just sits in an account gathering dust. The government pays guaranteed interest. 2.5% on ordinary savings and up to 5% on special and retirement accounts. That's several times higher than what most banks offer worldwide. Over decades, this steady compounding transforms ordinary salaries into real wealth. Let's take an example. A young worker earning around $3,000 a month. By mid-career, their CPF balance alone can grow into the hundreds of thousands. By retirement, with compounding and interest, many Singaporeans see their CPF savings cross the $1 million mark. But CPF is more than retirement. It's also designed for life's biggest needs. You can use it to buy your first home, to pay for education, and even for medical expenses. It's not just a savings account. It's an entire ecosystem that forces discipline, but rewards it with growth. Compare that to the US Social Security system. Workers pay into it their entire lives, but the money isn't truly theirs. It's redistributed, and the benefits are modest. In Singapore, CPF creates actual ownership. You see your account, you know your balance, and you know it's growing for your future. This system has turned millions of citizens into what economists call accidental millionaires. Not because they speculated or took big risks, but because the system made saving and investing automatic. It's one of the most powerful examples of how a government policy can take human weakness, our tendency not to save, and turn it into national strength. Number 3, taxes that attract, not repel. For most people around the world, taxes feel like punishment. The more you work, the more the government takes. Earn a little extra, expect to lose a big slice of it. But Singapore looked at this problem differently. Instead of chasing money with high taxes, it asked, what if we made money feel welcome here? The result is one of the most competitive tax systems in the world. Personal income tax tops out at 22%, and that's only for the ultra-wealthy. For most Singaporeans, it's far lower. Corporate tax is capped at just 17%. And here's the kicker. There's no tax on capital gains. That means if your investments grow, whether it's stocks, property, or business equity, you keep every cent. In countries like the US, the government would take a large chunk of those gains. In Singapore, your wealth actually belongs to you. This approach has a ripple effect. Wealthy families move their money here, instead of parking it in Switzerland or the Cayman Islands. Businesses choose to headquarter in Singapore because reinvesting profits is rewarded, not punished. And ordinary workers enjoy more take-home pay compared to peers in higher tax countries. The strategy is simple but powerful. Take less, build trust, and in return, attract more money than you could ever chase with high taxes. And it works. Today, Singapore collects enough revenue to fund world-class infrastructure, healthcare, and education without ever resorting to punishing tax rates. It's a lesson that many developed nations still haven't learned. Number 4, housing and asset growth. In most countries, buying a home is a financial struggle. For many, it's debt that weighs them down for life. But in Singapore, housing is designed to be a wealth engine. More than 80% of Singaporeans live in government-built apartments called HDB flats. But don't be fooled by the word government. These aren't charity homes, they're carefully designed assets. Here's how it works. Citizens use their CPF savings, not just cash, to buy their first HDB flat. The government sells these flats at subsidized prices, making them affordable. And over time, the property appreciates in value. So instead of rent money disappearing each month, Singaporeans are building equity. For many families, that first flat becomes their largest financial asset, a nest egg that grows quietly in the background. This is why Singapore's home ownership rate is among the highest in the world, around 90%. And more importantly, it means the average household is far wealthier than it looks on paper. To put it in perspective, in the US, the average household often carries debt greater than its assets. In Singapore, housing policies have created a population where even middle-class families can retire with significant wealth. It's a system where housing isn't just shelter. It's security, it's stability, and most of all, it's proof that the money you've been forced to save is now working for you, not against you. Number 5, stability as an economic multiplier. Money only grows where it feels safe. And this is where Singapore's real advantage begins. Around the world, corruption, unstable politics, and reckless money printing quietly eat away at people's savings. In some countries, inflation wipes out value faster than you can earn it. In others, sudden policy changes or financial scandals destroy trust overnight. Singapore chose a different path. From day one, it built a reputation for stability and discipline. Corruption is almost non-existent. Transparency International consistently ranks Singapore among the cleanest governments on earth. Regulations are strict but predictable, and the rule of law means contracts are honored and investors sleep well at night. Even the currency itself is managed like a national treasure. Instead of letting inflation spiral, the Monetary Authority of Singapore actively manages the Singapore dollar against a basket of global currencies. The goal is simple: preserve the purchasing power of its citizens while keeping the economy competitive. The effect is profound. If you save $1 in Singapore, chances are it will hold its value or even grow. Contrast that with countries like Argentina, Turkey, or even parts of Europe, where savings can evaporate under double-digit inflation. This stability is why Singapore has become a preferred destination for global investors. It isn't just about low taxes or high interest rates. It's the confidence that wealth stored here will remain intact, safe from political chaos or financial mismanagement. In short, stability itself becomes an economic multiplier. It doesn't just protect money, it attracts more of it. And in Singapore, that cycle of trust and growth has been running for decades, quietly compounding national wealth. Number 6, global investor magnet. When money feels safe, it doesn't just stay, it comes from everywhere. And that's exactly what has happened in Singapore. Over the last few decades, billionaires, corporations, and global funds have quietly shifted capital into this small island nation. Why? Because Singapore offers what so many countries can't: trust, efficiency, and growth without fear. Today, Singapore isn't just a financial hub, it's a magnet for global wealth. Family offices managing billions set up here. Tech companies headquarter their Asian operations here. Even ordinary investors move their savings into Singaporean banks just to protect them from chaos elsewhere. But Singapore doesn't stop at being a storage vault. It reinvests that money through its sovereign wealth funds. Temasek Holdings and the Government of Singapore Investment Corporation, GIC. Together, they manage over $1 trillion in assets across the globe. Think about that. While some countries borrow to survive, Singapore invests to expand. Profits from these funds are fed back into national reserves, strengthening the currency, funding infrastructure, and securing future effect is double-layered wealth. On one side, citizens are growing personal savings through CPF and housing. On the other, the nation itself is multiplying reserves on a global scale. This is why, despite being one of the smallest countries in the world, Singapore has become one of the richest per capita. It's not luck. It's strategy turning national savings into a global financial engine. So what happens when you combine compulsory savings, low taxes, stable policies, and a magnet for global capital? You get one of the most remarkable financial stories of the modern world. Singapore today has one of the highest household savings rates anywhere on Earth. Its citizens enjoy some of the longest life expectancies, lowest poverty levels, and strongest social safety nets, without drowning in debt or heavy taxation. The numbers are staggering. According to Credit Suisse, Singapore consistently ranks near the top in household wealth per adult. Many Singaporeans retire with assets worth more than $1 million. Not because they were entrepreneurs or lucky investors, but because the system itself multiplied their savings. This is why economists call them accidental millionaires. Ordinary people living ordinary lives, yet sitting on extraordinary wealth thanks to a system designed to make every dollar work harder. Contrast that with countries where citizens save little. Inflation eats away at earnings, and government debt piles higher each year. The difference is clear. Singapore shows what's possible when financial discipline becomes national culture. And it leaves us with a bigger question. If a tiny island with no resources can design a money system that creates millionaires out of ordinary workers, why can't larger nations do the same? Singapore shows that wealth isn't just about high salaries. It's about smart systems. By forcing savings, keeping taxes low, and protecting stability, the country turned ordinary workers into millionaires. If a tiny island with no natural resources can do this, what's stopping bigger nations from making their people's money work harder too?